Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator with Cookie Pirate. So we picked up from our last flight that we did from Talkeetna to McKinley Park. Now we're going a little further south. We're flying the Cirrus SR22 this time from Soldotna, which is near Kenai. I think we've gone out of or into Soldotna a couple times. We're heading over to Cordova. And we've flown to Cordova a couple times, but this time we're going into the municipal airport. Or we're going to attempt to. Should be about a 40, what does it say, 49? No, 52-minute flight. We're going at 19,000 feet. 165 miles, and yeah, climb aboard, let's go flying. We'll get loaded in here in a minute. Okay. Here we are, on the ground of Soldotna, and it is beautiful here. It's beautiful throughout most of the state right now. So let's go ahead, turn battery switches on, just like we normally do to get the airplane set up for departure. Take care of a couple things while we wait for all that to initialize. CDI to GPS. Set our altitude. 19,000. FLC to 110. VNav on. Nav on. AHRS is still working. Let's go ahead and grab the weather here at Soldotna real quick. Wind is 110 at 3. We're pretty far from the end of runway 7. So I think what we'll do is take 2.5, and we're going to have like a 2-knot tailwind, which is not a big deal. 10 miles visibility, the sky is clear, temperature is 1. So we're above freezing, but just barely. 2987 on the altimeter, that is set. We need to have pitot heat on. I'll go ahead and turn strobe lights on. Now there's battery drain. Let's get the engine started quick. I'm gonna have to... This is playing pretty much the same music, so... Yeah. Oh, we'll work with it. Right, boost pump is on. Mixture should be cut off. It's not synced up. Alright, now we push the control. And it goes full rich, throttle full forward, and back, and I will just bump it a little bit. Clear! Engine is started. Oil pressure's in the green, temperature slowly rising. We've got a ways to go there. Alternator switches on should, yep. Battery amperage is good. Avionics can come on, nav lights can come on. We'll leave the landing light off for now. We do have a little bit of a taxi. This will take just a minute to initialize. Okay, so to taxi out, we're basically going right down to the end, and the runway end is pretty much right in line with our left wing. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake. Of course, the tog doesn't move. Throttle should be pulled back a bit here. We're going a little faster along the ground than I prefer to. Holy... We're following the leader, the leader, the leader. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vehicles all in this giant conga line. And who knows where they're going. I think we're gonna sit here and wait until they're all out of the way, so that none of them run anybody over. Oh my. Vehicles just in this sim, they just never fail to amuse me. Oh man. Alright, here we are coming up. Hey Maria, welcome. They're creating traffic out of nowhere, exactly. Oh, and I forgot, they do not have a hold bar, and my throttle jumped. Spiked again. So we're gonna stop just back here. That's a pretty safe distance. This is the approach end of 2.5. So we'll set the parking brake, and we'll go ahead and do a run up here. I am surprised there are not hold markings. Right there. That's like a big no-no at airports. It's to not have some sort of marking or sign indicating for aircraft, but it's Alaska, so they may have a little bit different rules for their airports. But it doesn't seem right to me, so I don't know, kind of curious about that. Alright, let's go ahead and do the run up here. Let's turn the landing light on. Set flaps to half. Let's power up for 1700 RPM. Yeah, right there. Alright, good drop, back to both. Check the other magneto. Good. Alright, engine instruments are all in the green. There's no warnings, alerts, caution indicators, anything like that. Power idle. And it spikes throttle. I'm going to have to look into see if I can get it warranty repaired, or I'm just going to have to get a new one. Just really can't. You can't really control your throttle properly when it's jumping all over the place like that. Alright, flight control check. Rudder's good. Elevator's good. Ailerons are good, and flaps are confirmed at half both sides. Back into the cockpit. Alright. So we are taking off the opposite direction of our course. So we're taking off at 2.5. We'll have to do a little maneuvering in the air, but it's going to be a little bit of a time saver rather than taxiing all the way down there from where we started up. So what we're going to do is we'll get out onto the runway, set our heading bug, and then once we're airborne, 500 feet we can go ahead and begin a turn. 800 will engage the autopilot like normal, so really at 900, and 600 will turn from here. It's 500 above the ground. Alright, last minute checks, everything looks good. Let's release the park and brake. Let's go ahead and taxi out. Not much snow down here. No, there's really no snow over here. Look at that mountain in the background. And of course you'll see it directly ahead here. Alright, we are lined up. Let's go ahead and set the heading bug. And we're actually going to switch to heading select when we engage the autopilot. No, but we're not going to engage the autopilot until we start turning. So actually, we're going to set it back to nav mode. And we'll circle it around. Alright. Full power, nice and smooth. Engine instruments are looking good. Airspeed's alive. Looking for 77 knots. 60. 70. There we go. Come up. Come on. There we go. Hit the brakes. Just climbing out just a little slow there. We're accelerating still, though. Flaps up. Probably wait a little bit to pull the flaps up. Only about 100 feet above the ground when we did that. You generally do that about 2 to 3, but it's okay. There's 500. There's 600. Let's go ahead and begin a turn, and we're really just making a 180, so it doesn't matter which direction. We're keeping right about 103, which is our VY. That's our best climb. It's going to get us the most altitude. And I'm actually just going to wait to engage the autopilot until we circle back around. That way it won't try to do anything too wonky. We're set at 110 pretty much. I keep circling around, and take a look down here. You get a good view of the airport and the town of Soldotna. Kenai is just off to the left. You can't really see it from here. Yeah, we'll continue the roll a little bit more. That's like summer down here. The temperature didn't indicate otherwise. Alright, we can engage the autopilot. It's probably going to cut us to the left. A little sharp to pick up that GPS track, but it's alright. Oh, look at that. That's pretty neat. You can see all the planes parked on the ground. I don't really see much buildings. Should be able to. Alright, now you can see Kenai out over this way. Kind of the wing's in the way at the moment. So yeah, here's the airport. Fly right over it. Here's Kenai. So here's the Kenai airport. Very close, and then the town of Kenai is right nearby. Wow, this is beautiful. We're not too far from Anchorage. Be able to see that when we get a little higher up. Alright, go ahead and turn the landing light off. These all stay on. And we're turning just very gently to pick up the track. Turn. Now we're gonna leave that on just through the climb. Vapor suppression. It's generally, I think, a bigger deal when it's hot. But it doesn't hurt to leave it on while it's cooler. You can actually go ahead, lean the mixture out. We're at 110, so we're doing a Rich of Peak max power climb, as we normally do. Zoomed out on that. We can actually. Yeah, that's good there. You see most of Kenai down here, all the way down to Homer, and you don't see it right now, but Soldotna is right across the bay there. Kenai, of course, we pointed out. Seward is over here, I believe. We'll see that from the air, I believe. Anchorage up that way, as I mentioned. Let's take a look at the route. So as I've kind of pointed out, Kenai, Soldotna, of course, where we took off. Further down this way is Homer. Probably won't be able to see that far. Seward would be right here. We may be able to see it if we have a clear enough shot down through this valley. Anchorage is up here. We'll get a view of that in just a little bit. And crossing over the bay, I think this is Prince William Sound. Valdez is up here. And then Cordova. So we've flown into and out of the Cordova's main airport a few times, but we're actually flying into the downtown airport, so we're going to get a really pretty view coming in. if we make it in. The conditions are a little bit tougher getting into the municipal airports. But if for any reason we can't or decide that it's too risky, we'll just fly a couple extra minutes over to the main airport. I think we should make it into downtown. It's a short runway. That's the tough thing about it. It's only 1,800 feet long. And I mean, we can get this plane stopped, but this is gonna be some high precision flying. We're gonna have to get low, we're gonna have to get slow. We call it low and slow. We're gonna have to be really precise, so that means if we're not 100% confident, we'll go around. Give it a second shot. We still can't get it the second shot, we'll evaluate if we want to do a third. If we do decide to do a third and still can't make it in, we will divert to Cordova main airport. More like a Smith mudhole in Cordova. That's the... And take a look at the weather over there while we have it. 10 miles, clear skies, 8 Celsius. So it's like it's warm compared to most of the rest of the state. I think that's one of the high temperatures in the state right now. 2971, so the altimeter is actually quite low in comparison. You got a lot more to work with. And Cordova Municipal doesn't have weather to report, so we will use the settings that we have, the altimeter setting. It's really the only thing we need, considering the weather's quite good. So yeah. And look at that, 24 knot tailwind so far. Well, it's really a 19 knot component. It's helping us out on flight time. You go the other direction, and it would be... I'll tell you in a second. This is saying 52 minutes. Oh, I forgot to turn that on. Sorry. Usually not really worth referencing below 10,000 feet anyway, or 5,000. But I usually do like to have it on just for reference. Flight tracker's up for everyone. And I was saying 50 minutes for us now. And if you reverse it, it's an hour and 2, so it's a 12-minute difference with the winds aloft, which is pretty substantial for the distance that we're going. That's a considerable change. It's like 25% extra time. You take a look out this way. Yeah, it's kinda hazy. You can't really see it well. Yeah, you can't really see Anchorage well. It's up over here. You actually can kind of see down toward Homer, but you can't make it out. That's back here. Seldovia's back here across the water. But I mean, this is beautiful. There's really not a cloud in the sky. Of course, you can see, this is Soldotna, where we took off from. Kenai. Town's over here. Yeah, well, you can see now a little better over here. This is Anchorage. That area there. You can see across to the bay. Or the sound, excuse me. It's a 37 knot tailwind up here, almost 16,000 feet. So this wind is really working in our favor. What? Okay. Alright, YouTube being YouTube, I guess. Alright, there we are. Hit 19,000. Alright, standard pressure is set. Let's pull back. On the throttle, we're looking for 30.5. So yeah, I'm trying to push the throttle forward to tune it, and it's just... I don't understand this. Alright, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna push it full forward and leave it. And I'm gonna control it right here with this. Just need to adjust it to where I can see that. Or no, it's overriding. I can't do that. Ugh! Well, that's getting to be a real pain in the butt. Alright, we're gonna leave it there. That looks like it's gonna be about as stable as it's gonna get. That there, lean it this way. It's gonna be peak right there. Right about. Fuel imbalance, we need to switch the tanks. Now we can turn the boost pump off. That should clear pretty quick. And we're set 49 knot wind aloft, and we are getting a 37 knot tailwind component, which is really good. And that's kind of cut our flight time down, really about another 30 minutes. It's pretty remarkable. That's actually better than it was predicted. Minus 25 up here. And a little bit of light turbulence, some clear air, it looks like. Just when the winds aloft are stronger like this, you're bound to get a little bit of bumpy air. But this is really not bad. Okay, well that's pretty nice. That fuel imbalance hasn't cleared yet, so it must have been up there for a bit while we were trying to figure out what in the world was going on with that throttle. Huh. Okay. There we go. Clears. So we take a look. Our route, as we pointed out, Anchorage will be off our left wing now if we turn and look. Cross over the Kenai Peninsula, out over Prince William Sound, over to Cordova. So we're going to have to start descending kind of out over here. And depending on what looks better, we'll either land straight in. I think the safer thing to do is to come out over the water and come back around that direction there. Otherwise, I think you're going to be flying pretty low over the town. So we'll take a look. We'll evaluate. And like I said, if we have trouble getting into here, Cordova's main airport is not far. We can head there. Now, let me take a quick look there. You can see the city of Anchorage. It's right off the left wingtip there. A little bit of haze. If you look off the right, oh, perfect. Well, the wing is blocking it at the moment, but we go outside the cockpit and take a look here. Look right down this valley, and I don't know what that airport right there is. I can pull the map up and tell you in a moment. But yeah, you have a clear shot, and Seward is right down here. And those of you that have watched some flights with me before, Seward is the airport that was always covered in snow, even in the middle of the summer when it was approaching 20 degrees Celsius. And I laughed and made fun of that a number of times. A little comical. But yeah, so there's Seward. You can see Anchorage back there. You can actually now see Anchorage's international airport, and then Lake Hood, the seaplane base. And if we look up to see what this airport right here is, Lawing. Okay. Not familiar with that one. Quartz Creek, I've seen that one before. Cooper Landing. The town there. So we flew pretty much right over that. That would be right back here. Yeah, I see it, this grass strip there. Quartz Creek, Cooper Landing. Seward. And a lot of snow-covered mountains. That sure is pretty. do want to plan ahead and pick a procedure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure which runway we want to go for. My first inclination is going to be 2-4. It's not showing us the top of descent yet. Oh, and it might be because we set vectors. We may have to go back in and change that. Yeah, there's really not a lot of room to work with there. So we coming in, you're flying right over the town and descending low. We'll have more room to work with if we come out over the water. So 2-4 is the right choice. And we will set a course to... not that mountain there. Set the course to final. Now it gives us a top of descent. We're still getting about a 33 knot tailwind component there, so that's helping us with our time along the ground. We're just under halfway. And we're coming up on... off our left wing should be, I believe, is it Whittier Airport? Yep. It's going to be right at the end of the water here. So maybe you can't really see it. Probably down in this valley. I think it's back here. Can't really see it. It's between the mountains there. So we still have a little bit of time before we have to start our descent.
Do
Right. Got some more water here. Pretty view as the peninsula is kind of coming to its end and opening up into the sound. Out that direction, it's just ocean. I know it looks like all our indicators are pretty good. Minus 27 here, and we're still getting a good 34 knot tailwind component. This is quite favorable. And then we're probably another 4 minutes or so to start descent. And basically what we're going to be doing is shouldn't really be doing that. It should be taking us out further, but we have to watch out for the mountains. So what we'll probably do is as we get close to the town, we'll just disengage the autopilot and kind of fly by hand. Like I said, we'll give it, because we have to get it right to be able to commit to land, since we only have 1,800 feet of runway to work with. So if for any reason that we're not confident, 100% comfortable with continuing the landing, we'll go around. We do it twice, we'll reconsider. We have to do that 3 times. We're going to Cordova's main airport. Let's go ahead. VNAV is on. I'm going to lower the altitude down, really just over the open water, so we can really go down to about 30. No, we'll just set it to 3,000. I mean, we'll probably end up disengaging the autopilot before that anyway. I'm going to go into the checklists real quick here. And there should be a... Yeah, here it is, short field. So this is going to tell us what to do. Flaps at 100. Our airspeed at 79 knots. So we actually need to fly lower. Or slower. Hour lever as required, just to maintain that 79 knots. And we don't want a steep descent rate. We want a nice, controlled, standard kind of final approach descent rate at our speed of 79 knots. Pull the power back, and we're going to hit max brakes. Short field landing and smooth air. Make an approach at 79 knots, full flaps, using enough power to control the glide path. If for any reason it's turbulent, it tells us to use a little bit more speed. After all approach obstacles are cleared, we're going over the water. So we should go pretty gradually down. Maintain the approach speed by lowering the nose of the airplane when we pull the power. Touchdown should be made power off and on the main wheels first. That's always the case. You never want to 3-point this or hit the nose wheel. Immediately after, lower the nose wheel, apply braking as required. That's going to be full brakes, full flaps, go all the way up, and pull the elevator back all the way. Because what happens is when you land, flaps help generate lift. So you want to pull them up, and then when you pull back on the control stick, the elevators go full up, and that will disrupt the airflow and kind of act as what we call aerodynamic braking. If you do that at approach speeds when you touch down and you have flaps in, you're probably going to send the airplane back up into the air, and that can lead to a dangerous situation. So obviously need to use a lot of caution and make sure that you bring the flaps up and have your speeds slow enough to where that isn't an issue. pulling back on the power here. About 35%. Still gaining a little speed. Oh, did you see that? It went all the way down to like 15% and then came back up. Alright, let's go ahead and grab the weather for Cordova. We have to get it from here since the municipal doesn't have weather reporting. 2971, that hasn't changed. But we're due for an update here in a couple minutes. We'll go ahead and set that, but we'll need to. Those all stay as is. Oh, that's pretty. There's a glacier visible there. Right up here you can see the water, and then it just turns to ice. It runs up that way. And that is... let me pull up the chart and take a look. I believe that's the Columbia Glacier. It's one of the larger ones down in this area. And then the bay... can't really see it right here. Let me go outside and take a look here. I believe that's the... yeah. Harvard Yell Glacier's there. Now that has to be the Columbia Glacier. And then this here is a water inlet. It's called the Valdez Arm that leads to the town of Valdez, and the port and the airport. Meanwhile, Cordova's kind of straight ahead, of course, and we're headed that direction. Zoom in and look. You may not be able to really make much of it out. Kind of over here, out in this... can't really see the city or the downtown airport where we're going, but the main airport is out kind of in this area here. And of course, as we're descending, it's getting warmer, and the winds aloft are decreasing. So now we're only getting about a 20, yeah, that's like a 26 knot tailwind component, which is still nice. Yeah, Russell, welcome. Nice. We're at about 161 indicated on the descent. And yeah, I didn't even mention it before, but now we've got the Hawaiian or the Polynesian flowers on the Cirrus. I never even really bothered to change it. The ironic part is that we're flying up in Alaska with that, as opposed to something more like Alaska theme. I probably should find a good Cirrus paint scheme representative of the Alaska area. This is good. I appreciate it. Of course, out that way, it just turns into open ocean. Yeah, so this is the Columbia Glacier here, and that's the Valdez arm. Heads toward the town and the airport. Let's just take a look at the map. Yeah, so we're not really following this here, so we may end up leveling off. It's supposed to have us turn out that direction there. We may adjust down this direction, fly up the water and curve around, and probably give ourselves a little more room to work with. A bit late here in England. Well, welcome from across the pond. Where are we in the Cirrus? We are on our way to Cordova, Alaska. So it's a pull the map back up and zoom out. So we're kind of southeast of Valdez, or pretty much almost due south of it now, southeast of Anchorage. Well, I should say at the moment we're almost due south, kind of southwest. I would say where we're headed is southeast of Valdez, the town of Cordova. We took off from Soldotna, which is right here, just southeast of Kenai, southwest of Anchorage. A little more mild than the interior of the state. Temperatures are above freezing at the surface. We're down below 10,000. We should have a weather update in Cordova. Of course, getting our update from here. And the altimeter has changed. Now there's a slight wind out of the south. 9 miles visibility. 8 Celsius. 29.72, so we'll actually adjust that. Went up 1/100 of a inch of mercury. Where is Anchorage Airport on the map? Right here, this blue one, PANZ. So right there. We're out over here. Looks like there is a little bit of haze or mist starting to form. Yeah, you're welcome. Little bit of haze or mist starting to form. Now, all of that should be at temperatures above freezing. But we'll need to pay attention to that, because if any of it is at temperatures at or below freezing, then we'll need to have de-icing going, so that we don't get iced. Really can't have any icing on the plane. Coming in with what we've got to work with. If we had a really long runway, and you still don't want any icing, but it would be, you know, a trace wouldn't be a real big deal, but I can't have any coming into here. 1,800 foot runway, so it's up about not even 600 meters. We're looking good so far. I hope it stays that way. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to give it 2 shots. And if we don't make it in on the second try, we go to Cordova's main airport. Just better play it safe. So we'll give 1 attempt. Go around if we don't like it, try a second time, and if we don't make it on the second time, we'll divert. Save a little time and fuel. Worst case scenario. Hopefully we'll make it in. Hopefully on the first try. But, you know, doing a practice approach and going around is not a bad idea. Because the first try, if you're not familiar with the airport that you're flying into, it seems a little unusual. You don't necessarily know the micro conditions of the area, I should say, in terms of like the wind patterns. What does the terrain look like? What does a good approach setup look like? And you can take that and adjust for your second one to be better prepared. And of course, if you are familiar with the airport, then you've got that down pat. The graphics look brilliant. I appreciate it. It's running nice and clear. I'm running on a pretty good GPU. They do stutter a little bit. Of course, Flight Sim is pretty intensive on the hardware. Alright, so we're set to level off at 3,000 feet, and we've got room to work with. All this terrain is at least 2,000 feet below us. And the temperature's -1, so yeah, I think all of that mist that we're going to be encountering is going to be above freezing. We should be fine. Alright, so here's the town, and the airport is, if we zoom in... Alright, here's the town, and the airport, you can actually see it. It's kind of right here, but it's tough to make out. We're going to be going around the water, coming back in and landing this direction. I mean, we could try to go right over the city, but I still like the idea of going over the water better. So what I'm actually going to do is pull the power out. I'm going to disengage the autopilot now. Begin a turn. Is this the latest flight sim? It is from the Microsoft lineup. But Flight Sim 2024 is coming out in about 3.5 weeks, I believe. And from everything that I have heard and seen, it is going to be really good. I plan on getting it pretty much day one. I mean, it may not be exactly, but shortly after it comes out, and we'll be flying from then on that sim. But this is a good one. This was the first one since Flight Sim 10 back in 2006, I believe. I used to fly in Flight Sim 10 frequently. And this one's better in just about every way. Pretty view there. The sun's kind of coming over that. Definitely a little haze. It's not bad. Oops. There we go. Let's come back on the power. Bump just a little bit of trim. Oh, that's... Let's fine-tune that just a little bit. Of course, when you adjust it from being off autopilot. It kind of is a little bit more of a bump, because the trim wheel doesn't move physically, of course. Alright, I'm gonna get nice and slow here. So we're running idle power. Get a good view of the town of Cordova, but here's the airport. And what we're looking at, we're actually going to fly over it. Or not over it, but kind of in the traffic pattern. So we'll get a view of it as we fly by it. And we'll set up to land. I'm not 100% sure where the plane's parked. I think I see some. And it looks like they're across the street. That's a bit unusual. Alright. So we've got room to work with. We're going to stay here at 800 feet. And that's actually... We're flying pretty low over that. Probably should be at 1,000 feet. Oh yeah, I see. A lot of seaplanes utilize that. Or 700. We need to pitch up more. We don't have any flaps in yet. We're just going nice and slow, but let's go half flaps and add some power. Alright, so this is our landing spot here. Touchdown, basically right there. Let's angle off a little bit here. We're lower than we should be. Stay at 600 feet. We've got plenty of room to work with here. Yeah, we are a little low. Just add some power in. But let's go ahead and turn. We're actually climbing now. Take some power out. And let's go full flaps and then we'll add some power back in. And we've got plenty of speed to work with. Stall speed of 64 knots. We need to tighten that a little bit. And yeah, remember, if we don't like what we're doing, we will just go around. And we've come out a little far.
500.
But here's 79 knots. So that's the speed that we want to maintain. Back around, we need to add some power. We are a little low, we're getting slow, but we just need to control our airspeed. Alright, we're coming in. Let's continue on the descent here. We're looking okay. It's not great, but not terrible. And we have all of this grass to work with right here. We're a little slow. Take the power out. Nice and easy. Alright, we're on the ground. Ooh, that was hard. But yeah, there, we're on the ground. That was rough. Tried to add some power in to slow that descent rate as we were going slow. We hit that hard, but it was soft field. But there we are. And we just decide where to park, because there's not really a parking area for the airport here. So I think what we do is just swing wide, and we will go... I guess across the street somehow. I'm not really sure. Excellent. Yeah, I appreciate it. Timmy to the moon, welcome. You came in for a rough landing, and Russell, excellent. I wouldn't call it excellent, but I do appreciate it. The aspect that was excellent was that we made it on the ground the first time. That was far harder than I would have liked it to be. Couple buildings. I guess this is just a street that you cross and kind of park on the, maybe on the gravel over here? Or the asphalt. That's pretty, though. I don't really have much room to maneuver with this. Add a little bit of power to try to get this to turn. Easy. Alright, there we are. Set the parking brake here. Alright, yep, we're not moving. Power's idle. Okay. And, yeah, what we should have done is go mixture full rich. We didn't do that on final approach. No, we had a lot going on. Ultimately not a big deal because we made it down. The problem would be is if we put full power to go around with the mixture where it was at, engine temps would have been hot. We wouldn't have had full climb out power because the mixture would have been too lean, and that could be a problem. So that's a mistake. And that's why you do checklists, and you know, they're usually muscle memory, but sometimes you forget. And ultimately, like I said this time, because we made it down on the first try, it wasn't a big deal. But had we needed to go around, it could have been a problem. So that's always something to keep mind of. Alright, the parking brake is set. We can turn that off. We keep the strobe lights on until we shut the engine down. Boost pump is off. Mixture set to where it is. We're good to go ahead and shut down. Let's cut the mixture. Strobe lights off, avionics off. There we go, we are all shut down. And that looks pretty right there. Take a look at that view. Just these high rising mountains with the water, sun coming down. Wow. And the road runs by. And I guess those are buildings for people who use the airport, I suppose. Some way or another. And I think this is the road that runs from the main town out to the main airport a few miles out that way. We've flown into. But yeah, here we are. We made it. Safe on the ground in Cordova. Just as the sun is kind of making its way down. It's only 3:30 in the afternoon in Alaska. Sun will be down by 5, probably. I haven't looked exactly what the... Maybe Maybe 6. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one, folks. Thanks so much for joining me. And welcome to Cordova, Alaska. Brakes, undercarriage, mixture, prop, heat. Yeah. Yeah, we've called it Gumps Check here. And of course, there's a couple things. We don't have retractable gear, so that's one we don't have to worry about, fortunately. Carb heat, because this is a fuel-injected engine, we don't worry about carb heat. An aircraft that do have that, you do the carb heat there. But yeah, and it's been a little while. I mean, this is only my 3rd flight in the last 2 months or so, so I'm definitely a little rusty on it, but I always like when people come in and give me good reminders of stuff. You know, I try to make this something enjoyable, but, you know, something that people get a little bit of value out of. But that is going to do it for this one, folks. Again, welcome to beautiful Cordova, Alaska. Thanks so much for flying with me. Hope to catch you all on the next one. And until then, folks, take care, stay safe. We'll see ya.